That deep yearning and that deep desire to be able to connect is something that's really at the core and anchor of every single person. This is something that the modern Jewish woman is almost like flabbergasted that God cares about. Torah and tradition and God's mitzvahs actually see me in my most private, vulnerable need and desire. What's really amazing is that 5 decades ago, the Rebbe was insistent, this knowledge needs to get out there, you could share it, you should share it, and they're ready to receive it.
Suddenly in public, in front of men, in front of Bochum, the Rebbe's mentioning Taras HaMishpacha. People were shocked.
Ich lasse es war nicht schön. Ich fehle zu ihrer Sache, aber so wissen sein, nach Taras HaMishpacha, halt sich auf der Ruf der Kiem von dem ganzen jüdischen Volk.
I grew up in Crown Heights, knew nothing about Taras HaMishpacha, and it used to be things that were very hush-hush and private.
It was intimidating. They all hands shot up. They attacked us with a bunch of questions.
Und die Jule von Goles hängt up an der Ruf was Mikve, Yisrael Hashem v'zarakta lechem mayim toherim utahart.
I remember 50 years ago being a teenager when I heard the Rebbe speak about Taras HaMishpacha. I remember being very confused. What was Rebbe talking about?
The Rebbe said this was something that was shrouded in secrecy because it's private and it's an union of tznius, but today it's public knowledge, the male-female relationship. The only part that's a military secret is the kedusha of it.
What's on the street and what's on the buses and what's on the internet and what's on the phone in everyone's pocket. We owe it to them from a very young age to expose them to the kedusha mindset.
Frühen darfen verleihen bei den Rabbonim und bei den Mussersorgen. Sollen sie finden bei jeder Gelegenheit, was sie macht. Werden wir in der Ruf bei Rabbin und mit den größten Sturen.
It was many years ago, but the Rebbe had a good view of what was coming.
This isn't Taras Ha'isha. We're talking about mitzvah Taras HaMishpacha. We're talking about the purity of the entire family.
And the way I see it, I think it's just extremely cool. The Rebbe trusts us. The Sheikh Chabad meetings at the time were in different people's homes. And this, right after the Rebbe said the Sikha, the next meeting was in the home of Mrs. Zarchi.
Rebbe Tzneich took it, and then she took me in.
They kept on getting different mandates from the Rebbe. They realized print is the way to reach. They had a speakers bureau to help women speak about Taras HaMishpacha.
First, we ran the mitzvah from 824 Eastern Parkway. And then when we outgrew that, we went to Top of Bet Lakan. It became too small. So we had to move, and I moved to Purple Door.
So the term before the ballroom was expanded. Packed wall to wall. This is from the 19th year, Mitzvah Taras HaMishpacha fundraiser. This is Mashi Lipsker, famous Taras HaMishpacha speaker. She's spoken for us for events. I see all the way from back in the 90s.
There was really no one to speak to get the terms, to get the vocabulary, to get the inspiration. Every year I would go into the kinnis and they would offer like one or two workshops to inspire the shluchos, which were so powerful.
For a very long time, the mikvah organization was organizing reviews in Crown Heights, opportunities to come together and learn as a group and review the halachas of Taras HaMishpacha.
Sollen in der Ehe sein und Nuftstürme, der alle versammelt und bei jeder Gelegenheit, was sie nur möglich, noch einmal überchasen und wieder einmal überchasen.
And I gave the very first calendar class of my life with millions of butterflies in my stomach. After the class, so many people came over and said, wow, I didn't know the calendar is really halacha.
We publicized what the Rebbe said, and boy, it spread like wildfire. That having a child is the greatest blessing in a family.
We were the center for the campaign for Shir Lamala's cards that women would take with them to the birth of a child and have it in the crib of a child or the carriage of a child.
All of our shluchos would go home from the kinnis with a pack of them, bringing them to the hospitals, and specifically bringing them to mothers that were literally a week before giving birth. That was a very, very big push from the Taras HaMishpacha office.
We put an ad in the paper. Picture on the ad was a pregnant lady. And everybody said, you don't do that, it's not sneeze, it's not nice. When we showed it to the Rebbe was very happy.
At one point, they had an idea with all these articles, let's put it together to a book.
I said, I have no money. I can't print the book. So Rabbi Chodakov said, I'll give you the money. When you have, you'll pay me back.
The Rebbe personally loaned Mrs. Archi and Taras HaMishpacha International $10,000. I think the Rebbe chose the name, The Modern Jewish Woman.
As you know, mikvah is one of the 3 special mitzvahs entrusted to Jewish women.
Everything is going against marriage today. And every woman stands under the chuppah and says, I hope I'm not going to be part of that. I want to be the one that makes an everlasting marriage.
So just like there's a Jewish way to eat and work and get dressed and wake up and everything throughout your day, there's also a Jewish way to be married, and there's a Jewish way to have intimacy.
Encapsulating this mitzvah with the title, A Modern Jewish Woman, like, this is for you. This is with your modern struggles and the way that you view the world and the knowledge that you have access to. The modern Jewish woman should have equal access and opportunity to her own heritage.
It's about digging deeper. We need to connect with our spirituality.
We kind of held our breath every time we came out with our new programs, knowing that we have to present this and knowing that the more
there's going to be
secluded
pushback. I remember one of the very first, and we did it not at the kinnis, but we did it for the community, before mikvah, during mikvah, after mikvah, when you come home. And that was very revolutionary to speak about in front of a live audience. And it was kind of a springboard for many other things that we touched upon.
We did want to address all the topics having to do with the family unit. And it kind of opened up a new world for us and also made us relevant.
What we do pride ourselves at mikvah.org, which is a 50 years of history. There's a lot of people, and we've always constantly made sure there's always a younger person, a next generation. Everyone comes in and leaves a mark about where they're seeing the need.
Spoke to Mrs. Archi and I said, this is the day of apps. We need to find a way for the calendar to work on an app. And the calendar was born. This all was going on at the same time that mikvah.org itself was growing. Anybody goes to mikvah.org now, besides all of the articles and videos, there is so much content.
Suddenly, instead of the 50 people, the 100 people, the 200 people that came to a Crown Heights review, suddenly I have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 women that are reviewing these halachas because they're listening to the online Zoom recorded Taras Mishpacha review.
And based on the Rebbe's Hayras and his request to include single girls still in school, to teach them a little bit hashkafa of it.
I started doing a lot of research and talking to people and reading the curriculums and putting it all together.
We finally brought that to fruition. We have a wonderful presentation slideshow with a narrator, with a narration.
When I did start, out of my shlichus, I at that time was teaching Kalla. It was something that I was very nervous to teach. I heard about this initiative, this Kalla teaching course, had tons of amazing mentors.
This is already our 6th cohort, Baruch Hashem. We know that the training in Crown Heights and with shlichus around the world has really changed the face of Taras Mishpacha instruction, and I thank you all for being a part of that. So 8 years ago was the first Kalla teacher training course cohort where mikvah.org offered an opportunity to come and train on how to be a Kalla teacher.
When I was starting to get questions from different students, I saw that there was so much more that I didn't personally experience, and I had to make sure that I knew so much more. So when the opportunity came my way, the KTT training, felt like I really owed it to my students.
I think they started off thinking that it was going to be a 1 month or 2 month project, and as they realized as they're teaching how much more every teacher needs to know, it turned into something that took over 2 years.
And then through this course, actually, it has given me a ton of confidence to not only teach it when someone comes to me, but to actually also broach the topic more openly to people who haven't come to me, to be like, this is something so valid and important, let's discuss it.
When you have a relationship with someone, that's when you're comfortable to ask a question. I needed to have answers for the students who felt they had a relationship with me. Can't keep sending them out, or who knows if they're going to actually get the answers they need.
People are looking for ways to infuse their life with meaning, and they seem to find in all other aspects of their life, they find a way to make it more meaningful. And so why would they leave out the part that is the most crucial part of their life, which is their marriage, the foundation, make that more meaningful as well through infusing it with godliness and Taras Mishpacha.
The helpline began a year ago. We're actually just started our second year. Baruch Hashem, it has over 600 calls to date. Every woman has the ability to anonymously call, speak directly to a woman who's a trained Kalla teacher with life experience.
Jeder Tag ist in der Ruf wichtig, da was man weiß nicht, was man kann, Chas v'Sholem, vergessen auf in 91. Tag, ko'omor a 5 Stunden, in a diskreten Leben und a bekovedigen Leben und non-teinis,
all around the world, you have individual Jewish women and communities of Jewish women that use the mikvah, share the knowledge and the information about how mikvah enhances their own life and brings godliness into our home and into our personal spheres. What started as, a very humble beginning of sharing some information has really revolutionized the Jewish world to an incredible degree. It really has a ripple effect throughout the world.